Yep, our races are off and getting started.
Excellent. So yeah, Rock Me to the Top is always focusing on the action. This is how crazy this game is. This is like obviously randomly generated. I haven't said it yet, but obviously you'd think like if the game wasn't, there'd be a route, the best way to go at it. And no, it's just randomly generated starting on floor 2 to 39. For first floor and last floor are always the same. But I mean, we could see a floor 40 run today, but that is kind of rare, right?
It's fairly rare. I feel like we're getting more and more of them as time goes on. Our runners are very, very good.
Yes, I agree. We use two different tools that we didn't get to use last time. One of which is, we have a randomizer now. We're not necessarily using the randomizer per se, but we're using some tools the randomizer provides to actually seed the tower. So we're making the game less random. Now they're going to be playing against the same tower. So you see on your right, Shuzos enter the room, and on the left, Orza is going to get into the same room in a second. That was not part of the normal game. There was no way to seed the game, but we actually used some tools to do that, to do just that. And so it makes matches much more interesting. Now we can see runners fight against the same hardships.
Shout out to the wonderful programmer for setting this all up for us.
Absolutely. The man is a madman. He's created the greatest thing ever for this community. I'm so happy about it. So we can see the tower, and also you've seen floor 1 was absolutely fast if you've seen the game before. Like the tutorial floor is never ending. Junie speaks a lot. That has been removed. All items have been put in the forefront of the first floor, and then the elevator just after that, so they can move into the action like the randomized part of the game faster. Tutorial floor was not an interesting way of deciding which player was the best.
Yeah, we saw an early restore scroll pickup for Horza, which I assume Shuzo will get as well. So it looks like they're going to have a little bit of safety here in the early floors.
Yeah, that's going to be really interesting to see how you play using a restore scroll. I know Orzo is a very defensive player, so I don't think he's going to change his playstyle knowing that he has the comfort of a restore scroll, which will revive your pet if it dies. But I don't know much about... I don't know if Shuzo is going to change his playstyle considering that. I mean, you can play much riskier, but you might not want to just sacrifice a restore scroll too early either.
Yeah, absolutely. We just saw also a fire crystal, and I'm blanking on what the other item was, but there's some really interesting early items for these two here. That's going to allow them to play a little more aggressive than they probably would normally. Generally, these floors can be pretty scarce, but it looks like this is going to be a luckier seed, at least from the second floor.
What I really like about this game is, obviously, there are, equipment upgrades. You could get a better weapon, a better shield. That'll make you stronger and more tankier, obviously. But everything that is a permanent upgrade to your character in this game is generally much weaker than the temporary one. So a fire crystal is going to summon a temporary fire creature that's going to wreak havoc upon everything that's in your vicinity. The Ulim fruit will just remove one enemy from the game altogether. There are really interesting items that have either charges or are single use, which makes this game super interesting. You're always going to find upgrades or stuff that are interesting on almost every floor.
Yeah, generally the coolest parts of this game are when they get a pretty solid set of items, like, ice rock balls, things like that, and then they get up into the 20s and 30s where you get to see some really creative thinking and playstyles from these players.
Yes, you're absolutely right on this. The other thing I guess that's interesting is the items can get crazy, but the games match that up with monsters that are absolutely terrifying. And you don't need to get high in the tower to see that. Starting on floor 6 is the dreaded water floors from 6 to 9. You will probably see the playstyle of the player change drastically. 1 to 5, they're going to explore the whole floor. They're going to try to grind, not necessarily grind, but get a little bit of good EXP. most importantly, scout for items and get like a starting inventory, whatever they can get their hands on. And starting on floor 6, this is gonna change. They're gonna run for their life. Floor 6 to 9 is so harsh that like they're gonna run away and then start grinding back on floor 10. Floor 10 is not necessarily easier, but it's so hard. It gives so much experience, and it's not as hard as floor 9 with U-boats and stuff. They're probably gonna grind there a little bit to catch up.
Yeah, we saw Horza hit a warp trap there. Could have been really bad for him, but he got put just a room up, so he got fairly lucky here. And yeah, as Senai is saying, because the tower only has 40 floors, the difficulty actually ramps up incredibly quickly. You're generally not supposed to make it very far in one run. You're supposed to, you know, bump back out, come back up over and over again up until, you know, you hit 40 after you've built up a nice item base and some strong monsters, but our runners don't get that luxury. They have to find the best items they can and make a go of it, and where they land is where they land.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, Gulf 1 could be an interesting weapon on Orza's side. We were actually discussing the worth of a Gulf 1 yesterday, and I think that compared to his Steel Sword, this is absolutely an upgrade. I'm a big defender of Gulf 1 is good. I could see someone argue that it's not the best, but I really like it. So, two things why it could be interesting. First, there's two weapon types. Swords and wands. Swords give you raw attack power. Better swords gives you more power. The more power you have, the harder you hit. Simple, right? So obviously getting a better sword is always numerically better than the other one. But wands are weird. They give you only 1 attack power no matter what wand you get. So it's obviously super weak. But there is something in this game that's called mixed magic. This is what you see them do all the time, where Cuny, your pet, would actually cast this fire spell on your weapon. And this is a super powerful way of playing the game. Mixed magic, every time Cuny levels up, become much stronger. And wands, they give you an increase in mixed magic of 25% extra damage. If you've got a wand, mixed magic is going to hit hard. And that 25% increase is going to get much better than the strongest sword in the game really early on. Obviously, if you lose your pet, that's not on the table anymore, so wands get super useless. And the other thing you need to talk about when you want to speak about the Gulf wands is this game's got an elemental triangle going for it. If you've played Fire Emblem or Pokemon, you know about that. So fire beats wind, wind beats water, water beats fire, and the circle goes on. So Cuny uses a fire spell that's good against wind monster, like the cyclone you see on Orza's side. It's gonna get wrecked just there. So using that fire sword, that fire spell is obviously very good against everything except the water monster. Well, the Gulf wand would make it weaker against fire monster a little bit, but it would patch up the fact that it would be not as bad against the water monster. Gulf wand being a wind elemental wand.
Yeah, personally, I'm a fan of wand juggling. We're seeing, because they've picked up some early red sands, it looks like they both opted to power up their steel sword and stick with that as opposed to swapping to the Gulf wand, though.
Yes, that is true. Sands can improve whatever you've got in your hand, except wands are immune. You cannot improve your wand. There is one exception in the game, but it's pretty rare. So obviously, improving the sword right now, raw stat will be better than percentage stat for a small while, but when they're gonna hit floor 6, at least when Orza is gonna hit floor 6, he's gonna get into the water floors. That's where the Gulf one is gonna shine. I can't believe he's not gonna change at that point.
Yeah, it's also good to hold on to as long as you have the item space, because even though they do have a restore scroll, it's still possible that they do lose their starting familiar, and at any point, you know, they can end up picking up like a clown egg or something similar, and then it's better for them to hatch that and switch over to the Gulf one and keep going.
That might be true, but in a sense, not everyone knows that. Clown mixed magic lowdown does not get increased damage from wands.
Really? I did not know that, so there we go.
Neither from just the base 25% of wand, and not from having a same elemental weapon as the spell you're casting. Every range magic in this game does not get any increase in damage, or it doesn't even get stronger by having a strong sword. It's just a flat amount damage based on spell level. That's it.
Interesting. We did see Horza pass over a stream wand, so it looks like he's not going to do the wand juggle. So I imagine that he's going to maybe toss that Gulf wand at some point. Might save it for like a Barong or something similar.
The Gulf one, no, he's not. He's going to use it on floor 6, starting just there, just because the water monster is going to get wrecked by that. I never think about juggling ones, and you're probably one of the only community member I know who does that, and that's absolutely really clever. It's rare you can get to see many of the elemental ones at the same time, but this is one of these situations, and I think that would have been the good play here. I think you're right.
Yeah, they both passed over it, and yeah, I think I'm the only one who does it right now, but I've had pretty good experience with it. If you can pick up, because I mean, obviously you're looking for the Scarlet Wand, but up until you hit that point, if you have both the other wands, it's pretty solid to just juggle between them, and it can get you through a lot of these tougher floors.
Because the Scarlet one we haven't spoken about, but I mean, like I said, one will give you 25 extra % damage. You also get an extra 25% if the spell you're casting and the one you're using are of the same element. So that extra 50% is just stronger than everything else. By a mile. Like, nothing comes even close to a Scarlet One damage output for as long as you've got a fire casting monster with you. So obviously this is the items you want to get, but if you find a Gulf and a Stream one at the same time, I think that was absolutely a play here. But I mean, Shuzo didn't even take the Gulf one, so there was no reason to take the Stream. Stream is not a good one by itself.
Oh yeah, I didn't even see that he hadn't picked it up.
Yeah, but on Orza's side might have been a good play, yeah.
Yeah, so the Scarlet Wand, while generally, so they're reaching about floor 6 now, staying generally neck and neck. This is roughly around where they stop taking the time to search for items, unless they're in pretty dire need of finding something better, and they really start to speed up and ramp up going up these floors. They'll generally start taking the elevators right away. If you have a Scarlet Wand, you have the luxury of being able to take pretty much any fight up until just about the 20s with essentially no problem because of how much damage you do. So it really does change how many options you have. Big egg pickup here for Horza on floor 6.
Floor 6 could be a few very good and interesting items, interesting monsters. I'm a big fan of the blooms. I know people don't like blooms, but that could be an option. It would require fusion on floor 12, but still. Clown would probably be the best thing you would want to get. Cyclones could be interesting as well. I know Orza is not a big contender for hatching monsters and fusing them, but I mean, he's done it in his last run, actually, so there's a first for everything. But X can do much more than just being hatched to get an extra monster. Care to expand on it a little bit?
Yeah, so eggs, while you can hatch them in the tower to get a familiar that will help you continue, I've actually had my run saved before by hatching a bloom egg. But if you don't have the time, for example, especially later on when you pick up an egg in the late 20s and 30s, sometimes you don't have the luxury of taking the time to hatch it because it does take quite a large amount of time. You can just use the throw mechanic in this game to egg bomb an enemy monster, and it will spawn the monster at a much higher level, and it will either attack or cast. But it can be a little problematic because there's no guarantee that it's going to attack what you want if there's more than one monster in range.
Yes. It can also miss. There is an accuracy check. But we've discovered recently that you set a higher level. It's actually Co's level plus 50.
Whoa, that's quite a bit. So we
capping
saw
at 99,
Shuzo,
obviously, but
yeah, we saw Shuzo also pick up the egg. He is getting quite a bit low here. I think he's been taking a bit too many fights, so he's going to try and play it a little bit more safe in the coming minutes as he tries to find the elevator on the way up.
yeah, and he's running away from Maniva and every other monster. This is absolutely what you want to do here. Those water monster here are A, super tanky, and B, they hit pretty hard. Not the hardest, I mean, until we get to U-boats, but that's another thing. It's just that the fact that they have elemental advantage on your CUNY makes it even more scary. And interesting, Shuzo has seen the elevator. he was on low HP and he still decided not to take it. This is interesting.
Well, he got the Blaze Ball for it, so I guess it paid off. He
Sure.
must be feeling like he doesn't have quite enough to make the run that he wants to do.
Absolutely. Better to explore if you feel you don't have what you need. During that time, Orza has been just rushing these floors. Like I said, these are very, very scary floors. He's going to be a low level, but if he can get to 10 and start grinding back up, he's going to be fine.
Ooh, low down here on Horza might lose a level on his familiar,
Oof.
but he gets lucky. Normally he'd probably take that fight with the clown, but with the bloom there, he didn't want to fight. But he's going to get the high ground advantage here and kill this. Clowns are at an elemental disadvantage and also have...
Shuzo's at 1
Ooh.
HP due to a miss, and now you can see the hamster spinning in the wheel. What is he gonna do?
So whoa, that's risky.
Oh, he's got it. There you go.
Woo! I would not have made that choice. That was big brass balls over here for Shuzo. Holy cow.
Yep. You gotta believe.
So he did still have the medicinal herb and everything. He could have absolutely played it safe and taken that hit, but he chooses just to go big or go home. So props to Shuzo for having some big old balls in this tournament.
You need to play that style of risky play if you want to beat Orza. That is the winner of like the 2 last tournaments we've done. I mean, this guy's gonna be hard to stop. So obviously, if you're Shuzo, you wanna hop the ante.
Yeah, and if you guys didn't watch the other match that happened earlier today, definitely recommend you guys go and watch it. 2 of our best players who faced off and had a very exciting match.
Oh, absolutely. On Speed Gaming 1, you can check the VOD. It was absolutely magnificent. Ooh, item room. All right.
There we go. We're also seeing Horza tap out on item space here, so he's going to have to start juggling the stuff. Hasn't found anything super crazy, but he's started to build up enough of an item base that he needs to start rearranging and figuring out what he wants to keep.
Wow, 2 medicinal herbs in this room. Considering Shuzo's playstyle, that's going to be really nice to have in the back pocket, just so if you get low HP by fighting a lot, you can at least go back up. Can't wait to see if this item room is worth, because obviously Orza didn't get to see that room because he just went on through. So exploration might pay off. He might be 3 floors below, but if anything really good is in this room, might be worth.
I think he's going to have to use an item here just to be able to check the rest of them, though, so it is going to cost him. He's got to hope that that is a very good scrolling globe.
Oh yeah, because, I mean, U-boats are coming our way, and U-boats are scary. They hit like 5 truck tapes together with duct tape. Not only that, but they can dive onto the floors. This is the black spot you see with the periscope. So, U-boats, hit hard, but when they are underground, you cannot affect them in any way, shape, or form. And that is super scary. So they always get the first hit on you. And obviously they are water on top of everything, so they even get elemental advantage on CUNY. This is by far the scariest monster. And he's off. He's off of the item room. That was enough.
Globe. He did get a second medicinal herb there. The scroll was nothing great. But, thanks to some tricky movement, yeah, he's going to get to loop back around. His familiar is getting a little bit low here. Took a free hit from that U-boat, so he's going to have to be careful.
Oh, Brainwash is nice. So Brainwash is a very dangerous ability. Oh, again, that's so good. It can turn your monster on you, but CUNY is immune. CUNY trait or special ability is unbrainwashable. So every time the monster does that, it's a free turn for you. So you obviously want to see that as often as you can.
Yeah, he missed again in that last bloom fight, so despite it being a pretty low chance, he's getting a lot of misses. Horza finding another egg here. He's just finding every egg he can.
Yep, absolutely. So, and that was a Miniva egg they found.
It was a Manuiva egg, yeah.
Okay, so the egg Shuzo has is also a Miniva egg. Maniva's not the greatest. They have low MP count. There's a lot of shenanigans you can do casually with them. There's a duping strat. There is like so many crazy weird things you can do with them. You can bug the game out a lot as well. But in a speed round setting, they are not really good.
Yeah. Generally, if he does hatch it, it'll probably be because he lost his starting familiar and he just needs, a strong body just to take some hits. But we saw that Shuzo did not actually loop back around for that orb, so it looks like he's just trying to search for the elevator at this point. Not even going to bother worrying about what that magic was.
So, Orza is trying to grind his level back up, and he's done a really great job at that. The first time you arrive on floor 10, if you skip 6 to 9, you're going to be on floor 10, like 5 levels under the floor count, which generally you would consider yourself in a good situation if you are at the same level as the floor you're on, I'd say. So being 5 level under is extremely scary. But he knows what he's doing, and he's took the time to grind. Now, fights aren't going to be as hard as they used to, but when he arrived on 10 and level 6, that would have been a lot scarier. But he's taking his time, fighting every monsters. Oh, Cutie might be
big miss.
And he's fine.
Barely alive. Whoa.
There is, it's a luck mechanic, but I like to call it a biorhythm mechanic. It's something that was extremely popular in Japanese RPGs for a long time ago, where some character would do better and worse based on a line that would go up and down on a timeline. So someday your character would be stronger, someday your character would be weaker, right? There is a similar mechanic in this game, which is called luck, where Ko's luck goes up and down, like over time, and that does affect your crit chance and your accuracy. So weapon have 2 accuracy peak, like top and bottom. Generally, swords will have a top of 95 accuracy and a bottom of like 80 something. But wands do have a much higher chance to hit. That's why I also prefer wands to sword.
Yeah, Horza having another miss coming out of a long nap there. Pretty unlucky situation, but he managed to get out of it okay thanks to the fact that he built up his level a bit.
Yep, Shuzo's gonna have to use a medicinal herb here because he can't survive a hit from a U-boat right now.
Yeah, it's gonna be tough here for him. He's gonna...
Yeah, I think you run.
He's stuck burning some resources a bit, unless he manages to find the elevator before he gets pinched, but no, he doesn't. Down to 1 hit here with a lot of strong and angry monsters right on top of him. He's definitely gonna have to start burning some items here. Goes for the fireball here, opting to try and save his medicinal herb, it seems.
Yep, so it seems. Can he? Oh no, he can't. He can't move anymore.
Yeah,
okay, good. U-boat dancing. There we go.
Again, very ballsy, because if that U-boat comes out, he's low enough that I-roll will take him out.
He's fine. He's fine. Oh yeah, very nice tango. I agree, Wooga. He needs to move it forward. He step on it, and that's right. There we go. U-boat dancing again.
Very good U-boat dancing. Ooh. Oh, and he does take the hit, but thankfully over time he had built up enough HP there to buffer it.
Yeah, just 1 step on his partner's toe, but that's fine. The dance is still going. And he's still exploring. He's gonna get to find that that elevator at some point, right? He's bound to.
Yeah, and Horza still being forced to juggle items, picking up some better stuff. Ooh, a little bit of a misstep there.
He's fine, he's
down
fine!
To 3 HP, but he's got the elevator. He's...
The dance office work.
Yeah, gonna hope he doesn't spawn into a bad room here.
Oh, that doesn't seem so good.
He still has a Holy Bell, so he's still generally safe. Has the clown cast exactly the same thing as it did on Orza?
They did the same move, so it does the same thing. See the tower, man. So Orza took quite a commanding lead. So he's now on 15, 6-4 difference. And we do need to stress enough that there is not only a 1-hour time limit, but there is also a who gets to X floor first wins tie. So, like, even if Orza were to die right now,
oh, wow, okay. Shuzo had just decided to take that medicinal herb finally to heal his HP up, and then immediately stepped on a bomb trap that would have killed him if he hadn't. So he's got to be feeling real good about the fact that he finally decided to take a little bit of a safety step there.
Yes. So he's out of the boiling water now. He is on floor 10. that first encounter is going to be scary, but honestly, it's still easier than fighting a U-boat. So he's going to take his time to probably grind up a little bit. That should be a kill, no problem. There you go. And Shuzo is going to be out of the tough part for a second. I think he's going to be fine now.
Yeah, so Horse is coming up on floor 16. All the floors after the first one that end in 6 are special floors that can spawn a monster called Egg Bomb here already on Horse's side. Gonna throw his Palumpa egg out.
Yep, that's a Kraken. You don't get Krakens. Oh no, never. We've spoken about U-boats at length. They are really, really scary, but now you won't see any more U-boats on this run. They're far gone. Starting floor 10, they're not there anymore. The next big hit is absolutely the Kraken. So Krakens have an extremely high amount of HP, extremely high attack, very good defense, and when you hit them, you get electrocuted back for a percentage of the damage you dealt to them. Unless you've got a wooden weapon, but like, they have both swords. I don't know what to tell you. I don't know why they designed this monster this way, but it has absolutely no weak point. And even if you would have a wind spell, it would still be a pain to fight. But the fact that they are water makes them even worse. You don't fight Krakens. That's just not a thing.
Yeah, the only technically weak point to a Kraken in the game, stat-wise, is that they're a little bit low on HP and attack power, but they come at a time where you're using fire monsters primarily, and also they're generally gonna outlevel you. Shuzo got very low here, and then threw out an egg to try and do the egg bomb to save himself, but he actually missed with the egg.
Yep.
So he's gonna have to use an Olim here.
And 12 HP is not enough to tank a hit from a volcano. If that hits, that's the end.
Oh, it looks like he might choose to fight here.
Yep, AI 1 strat, but they've got... Okay, that crit might help, but it has a lot of HP. Yeah, Blaze is gonna do it. Clever play, that's what you want to do here.
Yeah.
And
he lucks out, though, and we see him hit for 14. If he had hit him, he absolutely would have been dead. Shuzo getting very lucky repeatedly throughout this run with some very dangerous moves. Horza did hit floor 16, did not decide to wait for the Brong. I didn't expect he would, given his full inventory, but worth noting that he immediately took the elevator out, so keeping his lead right now at 6 floors, while Shuzo gets shot in the back by a troll with a bowgun.
During that time, Orza has actually started to see a nice enemy we like to see all the time. That is the Picket. And the Picket is actually a very weird monster. It's got the weakest attack power growth in the game by a mile. It never will do more than 1 damage to you. But they do act twice for every 1 action you take, which is a thing. And the greatest thing they do is that they can steal your stuff. If they can replace one of their melee attack with a steal attempt, and if they it doesn't matter if they steal something or if it doesn't work, they're gonna teleport away after the steal attempt and go somewhere else on the floor with your stuff. If you see them later on and they try to avoid you instead of fighting you, it means that they have your stuff and they're gonna run away from you with your gear. And since they move twice when you move once, you can never catch up to them. So you're gonna use probably a projectile or anything that's range to get them from afar to get back your stuff.
Yeah, we saw Shuzo be forced to circle around a bit here. Oh wow!
Okay.
Monster trap here for Orza. He's lucky because he's right near the elevator, but it's going to be tough. I think he's going to use a Holy Bell here for sure.
I think it is, yeah. I think that's the play.
I think that is absolutely
He could have
the play.
picked up the Picket and take the hit, though. That's what I would have done.
Yeah, I think that's what I was thinking as well, but he decided to play a little bit safer here. So Monster Dens, the worst trap that you can get in the game. They spawn a whole bunch of monsters in the room, and especially on a floor like this with arachnids, which can just about 2-shot you. He's very lucky he had a holy bell there. We did see Shuzo have to circle around to pick up another egg, so he has a new egg that we do not know the monster of, but he's about to come up on floor 12. I didn't see if Forza picked up the blue collar, but Shuzo will have the chance to pick that up if he chooses.
I haven't seen either, but I'd be surprised. He's not a big contender for the blue collar and will only pick it up if it's on its way.
Yeah, so In the tower on the 12th floor, you have the option to pick up a second collar, which will allow you to use 2 familiars at once, and it also opens up the fusion mechanic.
Yeah, having 2 monster will rarely be seen. It's not necessarily faster, and it does drain the MP of both your monster at the same time, which means less playtime for both of them. And it's clunky to use. It's not unusable, it's just a little bit clunky. And generally, you either have enough firepower with only 1 pet to win, or you don't, and the second one's not going to save you, which means that you just very rarely use it. If you do, you'd probably need to have a caster and a fighter, I'd say. But even then, it's just very rare. But fusion, though, is very interesting. Very rarely seen in the race setting as well, but a little bit more, and it's a lot of fun. It's really interesting how you can fuse 2 monster and get the bonus of the 2 in one big fell swoop. And I mean, the gap between both players is just digging itself a little bit more. Orza is being really intense and making sure that he keeps digging the difference of floors between the 2 players. And this is the room. No, this is not the room with the. No, it's not.
No.
It's later on. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah,
it felt like
it
the same, but it's not.
18
And
19.
yeah, it's probably much later on.
Ooh, Diamond Shield pickup for Horza.
All right.
Be a little safer here. We do see Shuzo also opt out of going for the blue collar.
Oh, damn. Yeah, it's true. It's kind of late for a shield, though, because the worst shield gives you 1 defense, the best give you 7. In the beginning, it's night and day difference. It's gonna, like, remove 2/3 of the damage you're gonna take a diamond shield if you get it early. But the attack power of monster at this point is probably over 50. So increasing your defense by 5 is not that huge. And they're not gonna get any better shield than the diamond one they have right now. I mean, defensively speaking. Sadly, monsters are so powerful right now that I don't think the diamond shield is so much of a good pickup. It's fine. It's better, but it's not gonna save you from, like... It's not gonna be the difference between life and death, I think.
Yeah, generally, people this late into it will favor the mirror shield for its chance to reflect magic.
Yes.
But even that at this point isn't a great pickup because once you hit the late 20s and the early 30s, all of the ranged attacks from the monsters at that point are actually physical based as opposed to magic based. So even the mirror shield won't save you later on.
Yeah, but it can protect you from a paralysis from a block or like a blind from a unicorn. I mean,
Yeah.
it's not always the best thing. Like, even so, a dragon breath could be fun to reflect even if the spell is weaker than the dragon's attack. It's still better to not take a hit at all, I guess.
We got to see that Horza ran across a late game Palumpa, which you don't see very often in these runs, but
Yes.
very, very dangerous monster. It goes from the weakest monster in the game to one of the most dangerous. The floor 20 Palumpas, they have a little bit of a grumpy face, and they can actually collar jack your familiar, and they have a huge amount of HP, so you have to kill them to get your familiar back, and if you don't, you can actually never get that collar back, at least not in a single run.
Yeah.
Yeah. We also did see that Horza picked up an Acid Rain Ball, like a Holy Bell. It is a room clearing item that will help keep him safe from things like monster dens or really, really bad spawns.
Yes. I absolutely agree that the Acid Rain Ball is a good pickup. It works in corridor as well, but it's every square in melee with Ko, which is much weaker. But if you're in a room, it hits everyone for very big damage. It's not gonna destroy everything like one shot all the time, but it deals a very decent amount of damage. So it's a very good pickup. You're always happy when you see that. But balls got charges. You've got an amount of time you can use them before they're gone. That is not true for Acid Rain. It's always only 1 charge.
Yeah, so Horza making his way, getting into the mid-20s here. He uses his Fire Crystal to deal with a Viper.
Yep.
The 20s, roughly where the game really says, hey, you need to put on your big boy pants, and starts throwing some really, really brutal monsters against you. And probably the worst one for this set of floors is the Viper, which not only has a ton of HP, is Water Genus, and has a ton of attack, but it also, when it hits you or your familiar, will actually lower your attack, making it even harder to kill. So things get really, really rough around here, and this is where you really start to see people have to burn resources and start making some really clever thinking to get through things. I do want to note, though, that it's not, despite the fairly large difference in floors growing between the two runners, they're about 8 floor difference right now. It's absolutely not over yet. It's still very possible that Horza, takes a bad trap or gets stunned in a bad position and eats a death. And Shuzo could absolutely, make that 10 floor run in the time after that. So while it does seem like a pretty large gap, just about anything can happen and things can change very quickly.
Yeah, like you said, if Orza gets to just take the dive and die in their next early floors, they still have 25 minutes to go, right? There is no time pressure right now, so that floor difference is not necessarily as scary. Like, you don't want to get him to 40, but other than that, it could catch up to almost anything in that amount of time. It's gonna get more intense when there's gonna be like 10 minutes left and there's 10 floor difference. Like, you mean to produce 1 floor a minute, and that gets scary.
Yeah, especially with these later floors, like even with Horza's, strong item base
and he lost Cutie,
and he loses his familiar, so there we go. Just like I talked about, anything could go wrong at any time. He does still have the restore scroll that he picked up early, so he's going to be okay, but it just goes to show that you can get, sniped in a way that you really don't expect from just about anywhere.
Oh yeah, stealth, they don't have the greatest attack power, but they're invisible, and they're going to sneak up on you, and they're going to do this thing like that, right? You gotta love them.
Yeah, we're seeing Shuzo should be hitting the 16th floor soon. It is an elevator spawn, so if he wants to, he can just skip it, but we might see him take a bit of time to fish for a barong if he thinks that he's running behind to try and get an item that will help speed him up. Tough spawn here for Horza.
Okay, I think that's Fireball. Oh, no
it's
charges.
Empty. That's not good. So he does lose a turn here. He's going to fix up his AI, but he should still be safe. Still has that Acid Rain Ball if things get really dicey.
Yeah, but Acid Rain's not going to kill anything in this room, I think. Maybe the Viper?
His level's still pretty high. I think it would probably still kill it. But it looks like they're just going to sleep through it, so he's going to end up actually being okay here. He wants to check the wand to see if it's a Scarlet Wand. Scarlet Wand's still a fairly big upgrade even at this point in the game.
Yes. Oh,
just a stream wand. He does grab it. He has the option to wand juggle here if he chooses to.
Yeah, that's a very bad pickup right there. It's probably the worst one in the game. I'd take a wooden one over a stream if it's the only one I get. But I mean, he's gonna face the block? No, yeah, that's what I thought. He's gonna juggle it.
Yeah, so,
bad move!
Yeah, So he tried to abuse the AI a little bit here. If you can get 2 spaces away from the AI, they will no longer see you when you're out in a corridor, so he had the option there to try and wait out the block. But the block did decide it wanted to fight, and makes a misstep into a Viper. I think he's getting a little bit nervous here as the monsters closed in, making a little bit of a mistake. He does get the blind trap on the Viper, so he is going to be pretty happy about that. He should be able to just make some fancy moves here and get out of this without using too much.
I don't know. This is still scary.
If that Viper... I don't think it's going to take the corridor, so he should be able to... he might either sacrifice or just... Yeah, he's going to keep moving. He might pocket his monster at some point, but he should be okay here as long as they don't loop around and get him.
Yes, Shuzo is opting to use the Fire Crystal to get rid of the Garuda on his side. He just picked up the Fire Crystal and used it right away. Good choice, because even though Garudas are wind monster and you should have elemental advantage, they still hit pretty hard, and you don't want to take too many hits with only like Easter level below the floor. That's scary. You don't want to get hit too hard.
Yeah, not only that, but he's in an area where there's a lot of wind monsters. And he's going to be coming into a set with water where the Fire Crystal is not going to be nearly as useful. So
exactly,
definitely better to burn that than another item right now. And Horza does find the elevator. He's going to be okay. Checking the sand. It is just a blue sand. Still fairly useful, but he was definitely looking for a white sand. He wanted to bump up that acid rain ball a bit.
Yeah, at that point, the only sand that's going to be absolutely incredible is obviously the white sand. That's going to increase the charge amount of a spell by 1. And like you say, Acid Rain is definitely a good contender for that because it always came with only 1 charge, so getting extras on that one is absolutely huge. I still love to pump up Ice Rock as well, if you get to find one. But other than that, I think the Acid Rain is absolutely the way to go if you find a white sand here.
Yeah. Shuzo does opt to move straight up on the 16th floor. Ooh, Sleep Trap here for Horza. And then Paralyzed. He's got to hope he gets out of this really quick. He does. Thankfully, with 1 hit left, that was really scary for him. He got very lucky that trap didn't last longer than it did.
Yeah. Yep, and the Zoo as well. I mean, you got to deal with that right away because it's going to paralyze you.
Yeah, the Zoo's not typically super dangerous. They have a Roar ability, which will change your familiar to 1 less AI than it currently has until it gets to AI 1, and then it will try and paralyze. But because Code doesn't have AI to lower, it automatically goes for a paralyze. So he came out of the Sleep Trap into the paralysis from the Zoo, putting him in a really bad position as he lost several turns. His HP is very low. He's going to have to be very careful here because just about any of these monsters will one-shot him until his HP recovers.
Luckily, the more HP you get, the faster you regenerate. So it starts at 1 HP every 14 turns. But right now, it's probably 1 HP every 2 turns. So that's not... Oh, Shuzo. He needs Change's AI. There you go. All right. But yeah, you get to regenerate faster and faster. But, I mean, you need those HP bad at this point. Yeah. Every encounter is going to be very scary. And he's not messing around. Sees the Zoo, use a Fireball next.
Yeah, he doesn't want that happening again. Item room here for Horza gets another shot at a wand. Olim. Hopefully some good stuff here for him. He is on floor 26, another chance at a Barong, but it looks like both runners not even worrying about it. They just want to head straight on up. He also sells an unidentified egg. Struggling right now to decide which items he's going to throw. He still has that Gulf wand, which he's not using.
That's a lot of problems on Shuzo's side. So the only thing that is a damage problem... Oh yeah, Sleep Ball. Very clever. It's going to, like, prevent... Oh, that is getting scary.
Oh, it looks like it had his Holy Bell, so...
So you'd want to see that on the opposite side, because that picket is going to steal your stuff. He's going to lose CUNY.
Yeah, I think
his... Still has Scroll though, right?
I believe he does, yes.
But that's still a bad pincer to be stuck in.
Yeah, Horza also facing a little bit of a monster train here, so he's at risk of exactly the same thing. He does lose his starting familiar, picks up his bell again and keeps moving. If he can find the elevator here, he should be, and he does, so he should be okay here. He can just put that Restore Scroll on his starting familiar, pull him right back out, and keep moving. 10 floor difference now between the two of them. Horza spawns into a bad room. Both monsters sleeping, though. He's going to be okay. Shuzo also spawning into a bit of a bad room with an angry spider coming at him.
Yeah, absolutely. He's making sure that he gets out of the trouble before it starts. But I think he's good on it. And those pickets are going to be a problem. There's one in front and one behind. They're not going to kill him, but they're going to steal his stuff. Yep, Fireball's lost.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
He's going to have to take the elevator. Oh, yeah, Blaze Ball. Wow.
Oh, both his Magic Balls taken.
Yeah.
One of them does pass him by, but he doesn't even have any spells left to try and kill it. And he doesn't have the time to pull out his familiar. Really, really, really bad luck here for Shuzo. And it's worth saying that while they don't generally kill you, when you don't have your familiar to buffer you, they actually very much can. We have seen it before, where a runner did not have his familiar and ran into 2 or 3 pickets, and they just, death by 1,000 cuts bled him dry over the course of a couple turns. Because 2 damage isn't a lot, but when you only have 60 HP and you're taking, 4 to 6 a turn, he's just losing everything to these pickets. No luck at all. Horza forced to Egg Bomb as well, throws his Manuiva egg out.
Yes, that works really well. So there won't be any more pickets on floor 20, except there is a rare spawn that is actually the trigger for a quest. You can see a picket on floor 25. It's just a very rare thing, but it does happen. So, yeah, you don't want to get your stuff stolen, but he's safe for now. For the next 4th floor, you won't see any more pickets. So at least there's that.
Yeah, so both runners, I do believe, still have one unidentified egg left to them. If they do lose their familiar and they can somehow find time at this point to hatch it, more than likely it will be safe for an egg bomb. I believe both of them are also different eggs, so we don't know what either runner has right now. Horza about to hit floor 30 here in a second, making a lot of use out of this blinder ball to avoid as many fights as he can.
Yeah, big different playstyle going for Orza right now. So what's going on is he realizes he's getting low on items, and generally you would like to try to outplay every enemy and keep as many resources as you can. Orza says no to that now, and he's just changed his playstyle. He sees there's only 15 minutes to go. Oh, and that might be the end.
Holy cow. So he does have the acid rain ball, but he's actually not in a room where he can use it. He definitely doesn't want all of these monsters in melee range. So he's got a real bad situation. He's going to use the blinder ball here and try and go by, but he's got to be getting fairly low on charges. He might have to just sacrifice his monster for the greater good here.
I think you do.
Shuzo also in a bad position as well. Takes a big hit from a Viper. He does still have the blinder ball and the sleep ball, but I'm not sure how many charges he has. He does discover that one of his eggs is a clown egg, so he can hatch that and fuse it if he wants. Goes and uses the asteroid model to clear three of these. No, just the two.
Two, yeah.
So he is going to be okay. He did lose his familiar, but I'm sure he's just happy to be alive at this point.
Oh, yeah. And that Naplus is sleeping. That's how you want it to be.
Yeah, Tyrants.
Oh, lucky.
Oh, the Tyrant goes berserk and attacks its friend. So Tyrants have the ability to go berserk and raise their attack power, but then they do attack their friends. Shuzo does die, so that is actually it. Horza wins.
Yep, absolutely. We have a victory on Horza's side. Man, what a set of race.
Yeah, I did not get to see quite what hit him there, but I assume it was the Viper that he was fighting. He did have several eggs that he could have used, so I'm not quite sure what happened, but could have been anything. Could have been a bad trap, could have been a paralysis, who knows. I'll have to watch the VOD and find out.
Yes.
But this race is done. I'll go ahead and notify the runners.
All right. All right, so they're going to prep for the next seed. All right. Excellent. All right, we're going to move for the next race. Let's just notify. Yes, exactly. Okay, all right. We're going to prep for next seed. I mean, honestly, this was a very, very good run. I really appreciate what's happened on screen right now. Can't wait to see what next race is going to be, because obviously Shuzo will want to be as much more of a risk taker. Not saying that he didn't play risky, but I mean, Orza is a pretty darn good runner, and you want to give him a run for his money. That's going to be tough, but it's going to be fun, I think. And yeah, you still see Horza playing a little bit, but I mean, the run's already ended. He's probably prepping for next seed.
Yeah, they're getting their next seeds ready.
Nice.
Yeah, very, very entertaining run, especially on Shuzo's side. Some really wild moments.
Yes. I mean, Shuzo tried his best and it was a very, very good run. It's just that Orza is quite a fighter, man. He's like I said, he's won the 1v1 Rock Me Top 2 tournament earlier on. It's going to be scary to fight against him. And they're resetting. That's good. There we go. I could clap after Palumpa, though. Yeah, okay. Excellent. So yeah, if you're Shuzo, you want to get a little bit more aggressive, I think. You want to make sure that you go as quickly as you can, pick up those elevators. Still never get too far behind in terms of leveling up, but I think you want to change to make sure that you put pressure on Orza. Right now, Orza could play his own game. Obviously, they cannot watch other people's streams, so they don't know if they are in front or behind. But if you're Orza, you got a really good pace, you got really high. I think he knew he was safe to actually just take his time. If you get to the 15-minute marks, like I've said earlier, Orza's changes play style drastically, and you want to be comfortable when you start doing that. That even if you die, you probably are on such a high floor count anyway that your opponent might be behind or just on your tail. So yeah, I think Shuzo needs to put some pressure on Orza a little bit. I know he can do it. I mean, I've seen Shuzo play out of his mind. It was just not his race. There was a few bad hiccups, a lot of misses. I think was the slowing factor. I think he changed and tried to play a little bit safer when that happened, and I think that was a play as well. I think I would have done the same. I mean,
yeah. So it looks like Shuzo did try and egg bomb the Kraken, but the Palumpa only did 59 damage, and it did not kill it. So the Viper got to hit him.
Oh damn, that's rough.
Really, really, really unfortunate.
Yes.
But yeah, I mean, I might have made exactly the mistake. It just goes to show that sometimes you can make the right move and still have it go wrong.
Absolutely. There we go. So seeds are getting verified. Make sure that they are on the same seed. And second seed. Verified as well. They are on the same seed and they're going to be ready to go now.
All right, I'm going to go ahead and count them down. We'll be starting very soon.
They're going to absolutely have fun changing their names, something we do since we can do it before we actually start the timer. We used to have introduction every time we started a race where you would see like the storyline. They would speak about your father getting to floor 40 and never coming back home. That has been removed with the use of the randomizer tool. But we still we have an artifact rule where we actually start time outside of Ko's house. Because we wanted to have a chance to not always check the intro story. You could save the game after the intro story and actually leave for the tower with only the pity fruit your mother gives you, and that's it. So we still do only that. So they get the chance to actually name themselves before timer starts. So that's why they actually we always started to do that. Excellent. They're going to be in position really, really soon. There might be a small graphical problem with Shuzo's stream. I hope that's going to be fixed.
It might have paused because he's tabbed out, I think.
That's probably the reason.
We're just verifying that it's not anything big before we start. Yeah, it looks like he was just tabbed out. So
that's fine. All right. All right, so he's going to get in position really quickly. Like I said, there is no more introduction here in this game. We're going to get in race to very soon. Yeah, I mean, can't wait to see if actually Shuzo can put some pressure on Orza. I think that's the play here you need to do, is just play a little bit more out of your mind. You cannot hope for Orza to make a mistake. He might do it, but I mean, that's he's a really, really consistent player. Also, you can always hope for a bad trap, but I mean, they're gonna get the same traps on both sides, so that's always scary to hope for. All right, we're gonna do countdown really, really soon, and we're gonna get into the action once again. So if you just joined in or haven't seen the beginning of the first match, Azure Dream is a 40-floor tower or dungeon you need to try to beat. Generally, in vanilla or casual playthrough, you would try to do that, get as high as you can, probably get to floor 6 or 7, where the game gets really, really harder, and go back home. Get a little bit stronger every time, gain some level on your pet, increase your gear, and come back into the tower, and then maybe you get to 9, get it back home, and stuff like that. Obviously, in the speedrun setting, you don't want to ever go back home because it's obviously slow and you need to start the tower over again. There is no like checkpoints or stuff like that. And we've made it one step further is in the Rock Me to Top style tournament. So the rules that we use for this, you just don't have the right to come back home. So it's one attempt. You get as high as you can, and you need to beat the time, or I mean the floor count your opponent is on.
A bit of a misclick start there for Shuzo, saying one last goodbye to his mom.
Yep, absolutely. Really important to show
Giving
support
her that
to
high
mom.
five, you know.
But yeah, this is an easy mistake to make. You want to press full right to just get out of the way. But even if you input just a little bit of up, Ko is gonna stick to that door and get inside. Yep, that has never happened to me. I swear.
Horza setting his name to Shawnee. What kind of weirdo name is that?
So we like to name CUNY that is always to other runners most of the time. The first time it was called Sandy, probably based to rile me up, but now he's trying to rile up Mr. Shawnee, which is fine as well. Yeah, Sandy and Shawnee are going into the tower together. I mean, that's a good team. I'd go into the tower with that team, right?
Oof, there's a lot of dysfunction and competition in that one.
Yeah.
So they are off. Same starting items every time. A little bit of a buffer there to get them started. Should be pretty good. They do get to see where the elevator is right away. Not super consequential because they're not going to take it right away. We have seen some people do crazy stuff before and skip some of these floors, but generally it's pretty safe expectation to think that they're going to go through the standard 5. I thought I saw one there, but it was just a coin.
Ice Shield. Ice Shield is really, really good. So, all the damaging spell in the game are fire. Most of the damaging monsters are fire as well. And yes, there are tough wind monsters, but if you kite them with the standby strat, you probably can kill them before they can hit you. So, an Ice Shield will turn Ko into an ice monster, a water monster, in terms of its defense. So I think this is one of the greatest. It is absolutely the best elemental shield, and it's still one of the very good pickup you can get early on. I'd change my shield to that, like, no question.
Yeah, absolutely. Not only that, but you can also just let your starting familiar tank the wind monsters because he already has the bonus defense. So absolutely agree that it's the best elemental shield, with wind being the worst. Unfortunately, learned that one the hard way. Wind shields, while they can help you at various points because they are strong defensively against water monsters, all it takes is for you to hit a bomb trap, which you will take double damage from and get exploded.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, we call it the wind shield, but it's called actually the earth shield in the game. And yeah, you take extra damage from fire. But like I said, the reason why ice shield is good is because everything that damages you in the game is mostly fire based. For the same exact reason, it makes the Earth Shield really freaking bad. You never want to have that equipped. All the trap that deal damage are fire as well. And like you said, a bum trap that would hit you for like 25, hits you for 42, and you're like, oh, wait, I don't want to be here anymore.
Yeah. Interestingly, the game actually has plenty of really, really insanely strong water and wind magic spells, but none of the monsters in the tower have them in the vanilla set. So you don't really have to worry about them. But the fire monsters have a lot of really nasty stuff, like griffins with pillar and such, that will absolutely
Yes.
mess up your day. And then later on, you have dragons with the breath spell.
Yes, there is not actually a water damaging spell, but the best, I mean, the most powerful spell in the game is actually a wind one. It's just that no monster knows it naturally, and you need to do some shenanigans to unlock it. It's called Low Grave, and it's not even the best spell. It's the best spell by a mile. It's just so powerful. It's not even a joke.
Well, I mean,
yeah.
I guess as long as we're not counting the floor 40 monster, which just deletes everything. But that seems like a bit of an unfair comparison.
Yeah, it is. But I mean,
but yeah, there are spells that you can get that with mixture magic will paralyze every single time 100%, no matter what the monster is.
yes.
And crazy shenanigans like that. There's the summoning spells, which will hit the entire room,
Yes.
do a bunch of damage. There's things where you can do area of effect, long range. Like there's plenty of really, really crazy, cool spells in this game. And even in a vanilla run, you're not going to see 90% of them. It's a weird oddity of this game that a lot of the coolest stuff is kind of gated. Horza hitting a go-up trap here. Loses out on whatever else was on the third floor. I didn't see anything good on either side, so I don't think it's that huge of a hit, but not what you want to see this early on.
Yes. This is going to play on your mind as well. Even if we know that there was not necessarily something good on that floor, he doesn't, and he's going to feel like he's missing on some few things. Go Up Trap is absolutely the best trap by a mile. It's something you always want to see, except on the first 5 floors, which are the floors you're going to use to grind up a little bit and find some good stuff. It's such a cool trap that we are actually discussing if this is the best waifu in the game or not. The Go Up Trap, I mean.
Listen, I'll fight anybody on who the waifu in this game is.
I mean, Go Up Trap, come on!
Oh, and he hits the same go-up trap, the most insidious go-up trap in the game, hitting both runners equally.
Yes.
It was literally right on the corner of a hallway, just about the best place that you could put one of those to make sure that they got. So I'm pretty sure he had 90% of that floor explored, though. So it looks like there wasn't really any great items, just a little bit of a faster elevator. We just saw Horza kill a balloon by throwing his monster at it.
Yes. So I feel like Shuzo was kind of jealous that Orza was getting all the go-up trap attention, and he decided like to show his alpha male attitude and take the go-up trap himself as well.
Yeah, it looks like they both agree that go-up trap is the best wife, and they're willing to fight over it.
But yeah, it's always unlucky to see those on the early 5 first floor, but after that, you're always going to be happy to see that. You just want to pick it up, go up, and climb as fast as you can. And it's probably going to get you out of bad situation because, I mean, let's be real, getting past floor 25, you're always in a bad situation, aren't you?
Yeah, absolutely. Shuzo getting really low here, down to HP while fighting this balloon. Even with the extra defense from the water shield, he's just been taking a lot of these fights and getting beat up pretty bad. He doesn't want to tank this cyclone here.
Nope.
He's going to take extra damage. He is going to... Ooh.
Yeah.
Oh!
Oh, yeah. He is taking
so
all the
ballsy, man.
Yep.
Giving me secondhand anxiety. Really insane. If he had a miss there, he was dead. I cannot get over how big this guy's balls are. Really,
and considering
really
the amount of misses he got on this last run, I would never have gotten that.
Both runners have had so many misses this race, and nobody getting punished for these crazy plays. Holy cow. Also seeing a lot of support for the go-up trap in the chat. If you're in the chat and you've played this game, other than the go-up trap, please post who you think is best girl. Let's all argue.
The only other choice is Water Crystal, right?
Oh, that's a rare one. A lot of people don't get to see that one. Shuzo's still fighting very, very low here. He does get the level up, which is going to buffer his HP a bit, but he could at any time use that medicinal herb. Very conservative with his items, it seems.
Yes, I think that's how you want to play the game earlier on, because you want to build an inventory, and if you end up using all the good items on floor 1 to 5 to get out of floor 1 to 5, I mean, what was the whole point of getting those items in the first place, right? That doesn't mean that you never need to, but it always feels bad when you actually have to do it. He's already... Oh, this is a tough spot. Yeah, Ice Shield is going to be huge in this play, but that's going to be scary as well.
He did hit a poison trap, bringing him down to 1
Yes.
HP. He started to recover a bit. His familiar is actually also very, very low.
Yeah.
So he has.
Oh, the
Oh,
miss is
nice
huge.
miss. So
Okay.
yeah, he is gonna choose to tank the flame. The flame should only do about 1. So he's gonna be okay here.
Yes.
God bless the water shield, helping him out of that tough situation without using any
Absolutely.
items. You will generally see. Okay, that's not what I expected. I was gonna say you generally will see runners pick up some of the less, the more niche items in the early game, like an anti-chaos herb, just in case they hit a bad trap, and they'll
Yeah.
generally trade them out later on. But it looked like he opted just to feed it right to his familiar. You do get a very small amount of MP back if you feed them a
Yes, exactly.
herb. So generally, even if you're not going to pick up the herb, they'll usually throw them on their familiar just to save them some time later on.
Yeah, Azure, you may. I guess my own choice would be Cheryl or Selfie, depending, for very different reasons. I mean, they're really antipode type of girls, but I mean, I don't know. Water Crystal, man.
Yeah, I mean, if you guys visit my Twitch channel, you'll see that it's 100% Selfie for me.
Yep.
I think Cheryl would probably be second as well.
Yeah.
She's pretty top tier. But yeah,
Yeah.
Selfie will always be my number 1 bae.
I mean, Selfie is a really fun character to see develop. I mean, character doesn't have that much of development in the game. I guess that Cheryl and Selfie are the one that has the most, so I guess that's why they are the most interesting in my opinion.
I mean, other than maybe Patty, who doesn't really get a lot, I feel like all the girls are fairly. They've managed to pack quite a bit of character into pretty short amount of stuff.
Yeah, that's not a false statement at all. I agree. But I really like how Selfie, at first, you think she's just super rude and kind of goofy, and in some kind of a sense she is. But you realize it's just because she's got a weird education, mostly based on his brother and probably the rest of her family. That's kind of nobles, and I don't know how to say this.
Looney's saying, "Give Japanese Angel." Absolutely, do not do that. If you want to know the content, please join our Discord. Check out the Azure Memes channel. You'll never sleep well ever again. So just be warned before you go in.
I will absolutely post a link to the madness and let you deal with that. That's gonna be fun.
I will go ahead and throw the Discord into the chat here.
Thank you very much.
You guys want to see? So floor 6 and 7 here. Shuzo taking an early lead this time.
Yes.
Taking a little bit of time to think about what he wants to do. Planning his current attack, but they are still fairly close together. This is generally what you want to see. You want to see them stay close up until the 20s, and then things get really wild and crazy.
And I'm happy to see Shuzo take a small lead. Like I said when you were actually doing countdown, Shuzo needs to be a little bit more aggressive on his playstyle. I think that's really important, and him taking even 1 floor lead is what I want to see. And I'm happy to see that he's going for it. You will need to keep the pressure on. That might be tough, but yeah, that's what you want to go with.
Yeah, if you guys want to see a game 3, you got to root for Shuzo here. We want to see him take this back and keep us all here a little while longer.
There's also that's a double header after this match. I mean, not after this match, but at 4, which is like the biggest amount of time this match can take. After that, there will be another set of best of 3. So we're gonna have a lot of Azure Dreams going on.
Oh, I didn't even notice. Look at that.
Yep.
Let's see. Who's on the docket after today? It is Full Feature and Looney. Oh, so Looney's here, gonna represent the Japanese Angel in his battle against Fee.
It's not becoming a thing. It is, right?
I certainly hope it doesn't. Oh, man. Boy, God bless the localizers for changing that monstrosity. My lord.
Oh, yeah, that was...
And the funniest thing to me is I always thought the little baby was kind of weird. And now I'm just like, woof, boy, they really saved... Oh, that is dangerous.
Oh, we might not have a game 3. Oh, my God. Sorely, but it's bad.
I don't know if he had checked that ball, but we just saw Horza ditch a ball on the elevator.
It's a go-up trap now?
No,
okay,
he just...
Egg bomb.
Okay.
He's fine, actually. For some... Oh, well, no, he's not.
Yeah, I don't know that I would say this is fine. Doing some fancy to try and save himself. He can drop the familiar on it, I believe, but He's still contending with a whole lot of monsters. He doesn't really have a good item base. I think this is it.
I think you throw CUNY just to deal with. This is getting scary.
I think he needed to.
Oh, balls to
Okay.
pick up. Okay, CUNY takes the hit. That's good. If CUNY takes another hit, he's fine. Oh, it's not. Okay, pick it up again.
He can still use.
No.
No.
He's so tried.
Yeah, he could have still. He could have tried to use the Minislurp so that he had the extra
Sure.
hit to tank, but yeah, that was a bad situation no matter what. He didn't really have the items, which just goes to show that the tower will sometimes just choose that you lose.
Absolutely.
And that's what happened to Shuzo today.
And I was speaking with one of the newest runner yesterday about how like the player was getting kind of frustrated that they died early on almost all the time, like from 6 to 9. And I mean, I cannot stress enough how this is a tough part for everyone.
Yeah,
like,
that's
nobody
just
wants
the
to
norm.
play this. Yeah.
Yeah, the tower. You got to remember when you go into this kind of thing that the norm is that you're gonna die early. Everybody who's doing these runs where they're making it very deep into the tower are people who've been practicing for a while. They know all the strats, and they just get very lucky. Like essentially, every step of the way, you're just trying to make your own luck. And try and curb the bad luck that the tower is going to throw at you to get as far as possible. But there's no player here, even some of these players like Poulet, who are insanely consistent, nobody gets to the top every time. Nobody even gets far every time. There's always going to be something where it just, you hit a monster down on floor 2 or 3, and you have nothing, and you're dead, and it happens. And that's why, pretty much everybody who's been running this for a while, we all just kind of learn to laugh it off and accept that, that's just how it is.
Oh, absolutely. And like I said, and like we said, I mean, floor 6 to 9 is always going to be hell. A good player doesn't get better at surviving it. A good player gets better at avoiding it.
Yeah.
You don't want to fight from 6 to 9. But I mean, he didn't have a choice there. It's not that Shuzo played bad. It's just that the game decided that enemies were coming from both sides, and that was the end. And he tried as best he could, but I mean, there was no way out of that.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, tough life in Spawnsbaya. So I think we're going for. Oh no, we are not going for a friendly turd. So we will go for interviews for a sec. I will just invite people in. Give me a second. There we go. That's not what I wanted to do.
I just want to say, I see you, Looney. I see you. So the way it works is that they go, they're both trying to get as high as possible, and generally there's a top floor, so they go until either 40 or until they die. Alternatively, or if they time out, we do set an hour cap because if you get a good set of items early, like you get like a Scarlet Wand and a Strong Shield, you can pretty much just grind it out 90% of the way to 40 pretty safely. And it would just be very boring. So to prevent that, we put a time cap on it to make sure that they're moving fast and that this still falls under the speed game category.
Yeah, absolutely. And we have our runners. Yep, that was a lot of sound.
Hello.
Hello.
Hello, Shuzo, man. You tried.
That floor 7, man.
Dude, you have some of the biggest balls I think I've seen. Holy cow, you made some scary choices that I would never in a million years make.
Oh, some of those fights in the first one?
Yeah.
Even in the second one, there was a point where you were fighting that Cyclops and you took that swing with 5 HP after he had just hit you for 5, and I was like, wow.
Yeah, especially with how many misses I've had today.
Yeah, you and Horza
like 15
both.
times in the first one.
Dude, you and Horza both have been missing nonstop, and then you kept taking the like, if I miss, I die. Go big or go home.
Yep.
Gotta try to save items.
Yeah, I was like, damn, man, I would not be that brave. Congrats. So, but yeah, both sides, very tough tower on both ends, and a lot of interesting choices for both sides. The first one especially very, very exciting. So neither of you should feel bad about anything.
Oh yeah, that first one was a blast. That's my second floor 20 ever too. So I'm like,
Wow. GG,
although
man.
like I said in chat, like I've been playing the base game all week. I can't get past 4-7 for some reason.
That's funny.
I don't know what's wrong with me when it comes to base game.
Yeah, you got pretty close to winning too. Horza actually came perilously close to dying at one point because he hit a sleep trap and then came out of it and got paralyzed by a zoo, which ended just before he died. It was crazy.
Yes.
Oh,
wow. Shuzo, when you got into that last final moment, how did you feel seeing the 2 U-boats, the 2 blooms, and the Maneuver coming in for you?
I looked at my items and I was like, I threw the pamphlet to one, and then I saw the rest in that room, and I'm like, I think I'm dead.
Yeah, we were trying to work it out.
I couldn't even like yeet Cune and get out of it because there's the 2 on the other side. I'm like,
I mean, we were looking at it and we thought you were pretty much dead for sure, given the lack of items. And then you managed to get the pickup on the U-boat, and for a second we were like, "Holy cow, he found a way out!" But unfortunately, you lost that second coin flip.
oh yeah.
I think you could have maybe used the Medicinal Herb to take another hit and maybe buffered a second try, but it was like you were like 99% probably just dead.
Oh yeah, like I actually didn't even think of the Medicinal Herb in the moment either, and after I was like, oh,
here's one.
That would have kept me alive a little longer.
Yeah, there was one point where you'd been on the first run, you were low for like 3 different fights. You were like sub 10 HP. And then I kept being like, I'm not sure why he's not using his herb. You finally used your herb. You walked into the next room and had a bomb trap that would have killed you. How did you feel on that one?
You know what? I didn't even notice that, honestly. I know
my jaw dropped. I was sitting there and you took, I think, like 2 rooms at sub 10 HP, and I'm thinking, oh my god, if he bomb trap, he's dead. And then you finally used the herb, and the second you walked into another room, you hit the bomb trap, and I just lost it. I was like, wow.
Wait, was that the one that didn't actually activate too? Because I know I hit one and it didn't actually activate.
No, you took the hit. You took the hit.
Okay, that was the second bomb trap.
Yeah, it was very, very lucky. Like, you, right time, right place, man.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, like what made me do it too was like I'm playing with fire. I need to stop for a second. And,
yeah. Well,
that was the only reason I popped it. I was like, I've been playing with fire too long. I'm not gonna be this lucky the whole time. So.
Yeah, it was such a good choice. I was like, wow, good man.
Oh.
So luckily, Shuzo, you're not out of the tournament yet. There is a loser bracket which will give you at least another match. I don't know if it's already decided who you're gonna play against. I don't think so, but I mean, so do you think, like, who would you like to play against? I think your next match would be, it's either the loser of today's match or Wooga. That's gonna be a tough match, I think.
To be honest, most of the matches are tough.
Yes, granted.
Think, like, to be fair, like, just seeing how Prof Death played, I think part of the only reason I got far enough ahead of him is because he's got, like, more of a slow and steady play style.
Yeah.
And I like to just trudge forward as fast as possible.
Well, your first match was definitely a good example of that. I mean, you were never stopping. Yeah, you weren't necessarily the fastest. I mean, Orza added a few floors on you, but I mean, the most important thing is not to be always the quickest, but obviously it is about not dying. I mean, this is a survival type of game anyway. But yeah, that's gonna be a fun to watch playstyle again, and I'm happy to see that you're still in it.
Yeah, it was definitely really entertaining. Horza, are you alive there?
I'm glad people enjoy it.
I know I did. Orza seemed to add a small like audio issue, so he might not be around, I guess.
All right.
Oh, my
everybody.
my mic got bumped. Oh wow.
I was like, let's all make fun of Horzo while he can't.
I'm like sitting here talking like, guys, my mic bumped up a little bit. And it turned
Well-
off. That's what happened.
Now we can make fun of him while he can.
There we
fight
go.
back, so that's good.
I've
So,
done that so many times before.
Horza, did you get a chance to watch the runs this morning?
No, I set my alarm wrong, and so I caught the very end of everything. So sadly, I didn't get to watch Wugga and Pule. I know Pule won 2-0, but that's about all I know.
Really, yeah, I missed it too, so I'm gonna go and watch it after this. But yeah, how do you feel? Two really crazy players, and one of them beat up the other, and now he's in the losers bracket. Very
Yeah,
shocking to see.
I was talking with our said Wugga as he got bumped down there. I was looking. I think I mentioned this to Sand Knight that I was looking at the brackets, and I'm like, I'm glad I'm not in that top bracket because.
Well, you say
Because,
that, but your next match is against the winner of me or X3, so that's not going to be an easy win either way.
I mean, me and you butted heads in the finals last tournament, Sand Knight.
Yes.
I mean, just saying.
Yeah, I know you won. Good on you, but I'm coming like stronger than ever.
Yeah, we got the beast emerges and
Oh yeah.
and makes terrible seeds for me where I think that I'm safe to go grab a sand and there's a monster den there. I'm looking around like there's no enemies nearby. I can make it a few spaces and grab that sand and back to the elevator. Oh god, it's a lot of arachnes.
They're trying to grab the sand from the Sand Knight. No way I'm letting that happen.
I did warn you
man.
both at the start that he extra cursed these ones.
These were
Oh, yeah.
exceptionally bad seeds.
You said that was on 19 too?
Yeah, it was on 19.
Yeah,
Oh man, I don't think I explored 19. I think I
It-
got out of Dodge as fast.
yeah, you got really lucky. Cause yeah, there was an elevator room that had a monster den in it, like right on top of the elevator.
Oh no.
Yeah, it was right. There was a blue sand or something, and I was like, "There's no enemies around. I'm just gonna get this sand, and we're gonna use it, and we're gonna feel better." And then a monster den, and I'm surrounded by arachnes, and I'm like, "Oh no,
Oh no!
oh no!"
And
And then I was gonna try to juke around to get to the elevator, but then there's a sleeping picket on it, surrounded by more pickets, and I'm like, "Well, I guess we're gonna holy bell." Rip.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you were very fortunate because you had the Holy Belly and the Acid Rain, so it's like you had options. But I don't think
I
Shuzo
didn't
had
have the
enough.
acid rain at that point yet. I think that came in the 20s.
Maybe.
Just
maybe.
like that diamond shield that was like
Yeah, you got the Diamond Shield in the 20s as
that
well.
was really troublesome not finding a real shield. I probably should have just picked up that earth shield though.
God, no! Don't
No,
do
you
it.
don't.
No,
You don't.
Don't do it.
I did that in one of my runs, and I got blown up by a bomb trap. It was
Oh yeah.
Oh. Ooh.
never trust the Earth Shield, man. It's
That's kind of why I
fate.
value that water shield so highly though in the
Oh yeah.
one.
I was actually I thought Horza, I thought you were gonna take my strat and juggle the wands, and then you never used either.
No, I didn't want to risk getting stuck on one with a curse. So, if I'd had the truth glasses at the point when I was looking at my steel sword, I would have used it on the golf wand to make sure it wasn't cursed. But I don't like those wands enough to want to get stuck with them.
Yeah.
I would rather take my +2 steel sword and go to town. Yeah,
Oh,
there's a lot of bad moments in these seeds. Just thinking back, I'm just like, they were very stressful.
Oh,
Yeah.
I
I
was
think I
very
hit 3
stressed.
traps in one room in this seed. Like one of the floors I just found 3 traps right next to each other. Or it was at least 2.
Yeah, it was very
There
trap
was a-
heavy.
There was a
Horza
trap
also,
room
I
in
think it
the
was
second
Horza,
one.
where you got warped early, but you got lucky because it only put you like a room away.
Yeah, it didn't impact me too much, but Kune still managed to get in like 3 encounters before I could get to him.
Yeah, he toughed it out. I was like, oof.
I'm just like, wow, that's a lot of fighting for like only moving a few spaces.
Hey
Little
man, it could be
trolls.
worse. The last time I was casting and that happened, he lost to a troll because I think he got ganged up on by like 3 of them at once.
Oh wow.
Yeah, it was really bad lucky because like they'd been I can't remember who it was, but they'd been fighting pretty solidly. So like it wasn't like he was low level or anything like that. He just like he got warped, and it was like low enough that you're like, oh yeah, he'll be fine. And then he just got like gang beat by like 3 or 4 trolls, and that was it.
I think people here want to see more of that, but luckily today we have more Azure Dreams coming up.
There's
we're gonna
more
take
Azure Dreams coming up?
There is. So
Send
starting
where
at-
would I find out about this?
I don't know. I could tell you right about it right now, or I could send you a link to our Discord where we discuss this all the time.
Wow.
Yeah, we're gonna get a match in an hour and a half. So since this one ended up a little bit earlier, we're gonna take a small break. No, we're not gonna do an interview that's gonna last an hour and a half. Or we could speak about food. I mean, but honestly, we will take a small break, and in an hour and a half, so we're gonna get into the next match, which is gonna be, it's Full Featuritis versus
Looney Cloud.
Looney Cloud. Oh damn, our very own Looney Cloud.
Our very own, the myth, the legend.
The legend. It's going to be a lot of fun to see this match as well. So if you want to see more Azure Dreams, I'm going to take a second to thanks Dreamy Vision. Thank you very much for doing this with me. It was a lot of fun today.
It was a lot of fun.
And most importantly, thank you to our runners, Orza and Shuzo. You gave us quite a cool show.
Thank you guys.
Yeah, no worries. It's fun to be here, and I like being a part of all this.
Nice. And
yeah.
also, obviously, thank you very much for Speed Gaming for being always really cool and making sure that what we do gets the most attention and most importantly looks as good as it looks. You're doing a great job at it, and we really appreciate the work you guys do. And obviously, also, chat, I really like having you here with us every time. It's super fun to see your reaction and see how you react to the gameplay. It's always super fun to give you the best show we possibly can. So the only thing I have to say is see you in an hour and a half. It's going to be another Azure Dream match coming up just for you guys.
Take care, everybody.
See you around. Bye-bye.
See you soon, everyone.
Bye.